And a jolly good afternoon to you from a bright and breezy, slightly cool for the time of year Chatham here in Kent. And today I'm just going to do a shortish walk, probably take me somewhere between about an hour to an hour and a half. This video will probably last about half an hour, but it's a walk from here at Chatham railway station to the famous historic Dockyards of Chatham. It says on the rather impressive mural here it's going to be 1 mile, a 30-minute walk. Of course there's going to be some walking around the dockyards as well, so I've never been before, don't really know what to expect, but I've heard all about it. Going to head on down, let's see what we see along the way between here and the historic dockyards from Chatham railway station. Off we go. So I think the first part of the walk really appears to be just going through the centre of town, which actually will be quite helpful, because I need to just pop in a shop and grab a drink and maybe a little snack of some description. If I see a Greggs, happy days, or something similar to Greggs. Anyway, just made my way up from Gillingham, where I've just done another walk, and I wonder if that statue over there is supposed to have a cone on the top of it. Maybe not. It's actually quite a nice day. It's July, so the weather's been not great for summer here in Britain. As you know, it can be pretty unpredictable at the best of times. This year seems to have been very, very wet throughout the early part and the middle part of the summer, and not particularly warm either. But today is actually quite nice. Still not up to normal summer temperatures, but when you're going for nice walks, you don't want it too hot anyway. I think that cone's supposed to be there actually on top of there. It looks like it's a permanent fixture rather than some random street cone that's just been plonked on the top. I've heard mixed reports about Chatham. Some say it's great, it's really interesting, fascinating place to come to. Others kind of describe it as a bit of a dump really. So well, I take things as I find them, and so far it seems to be okay. It's a town in England, and like with most towns in England, it's got its well, they have their good bits and they have their not so good bits, generally speaking. And I seem to be walking through a reasonably okay bit at the moment. Big Wetherspoons ahead there, the Thomas Waghorn. I shan't be popping in there today for a number of reasons, time being one of them, as always. Limited to the amount of time I've got on these walks, but anyway, let's carry on through, see where we end up. As with many Wetherspoons, it's a repurposed old building. Not entirely sure what it used to. In fact, now I do know what it used to be. It used to be a post office. That's quite clear just on the front of it there, and it's on Railway Street. So yeah, that is very typical for Wetherspoons, repurposing all sorts of old buildings that aren't needed anymore. And great big post offices tend to be one of them, unfortunately. And post offices very often these days tend to be tucked away in the corners of shops in towns, and I suppose that's what's happened here. And starting to find that banks are beginning to head the same way. So probably find this will be a Wetherspoons or something similar at some point. So I'm not going down the high street today. It appears to be a bit of a market going on down there, and quite busy. And that's probably, in fact, this you call this Bank Square, I'd say. There seems to have all the big banks around here. As I say, I wonder how long they'll last for. as everyone seems to be doing their banking online and don't really need to visit banks as such, quite the same as we used to do. It's a shame, ruining our high streets, but I'm guessing that's how it's all going to end up going. I did actually walk through here a few weeks ago on a different walk. I did a walk from Rochester to Gillingham via Chatham, but only really briefly. Came through Chatham, just kind of skirted around just over this bit over here and then up over the hill towards Gillingham. I will be taking that walk later, just as a walk to get back to Gillingham later on, rather than get the train back. And I'm going to be heading off now over, there's a bus station there, that's right, over towards the other side of the bus station, whereas my walk back towards Gillingham is up over the hills there. Very nice walk actually. There's a park you can walk through, and it's quite a steep yomp over that hill. It doesn't look it from down here, but once you get on it, it certainly is. So I shall be doing that later on, but that's on another video. Shan't be videoing that today. What I've found wandering around the various Medway towns, that the best part of them all is down by the river itself, down by the Medway, and Chatham is no exception. Just see a nice cannon over there actually. I've a feeling I'll be walking in there. That's the beginning of the Dockyards over there, but the app I'm using, one of my go-to apps, Go Jauntly, is actually sending me this way at the moment, so this is the way I'm going to go. Not for me to question. We're on Dock Road here, which is the clue we need. Not quite sure why it sent me this way. It looks like you can walk along the water's edge just down there on the other side of this community hub building. Not entirely sure why it sent me this way. It normally sends you the most picturesque and nicest place to walk, as opposed to next to busy main roads where I am now, but maybe there's a method in the madness. Coming up towards Fort Amherst, 150 yards away. I'm not sure if that's included on this particular walk I've put in here, as it seems to be veering off towards the right. Also Kitchener Barracks, so certainly quite a few things of interest around here of a military nature that would interest many people, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why I've been... Ah, I see, yeah. The England Coastal Path, it does come up here. That's to take me back towards Chatham itself, and then obviously the path doesn't go along that way. That's why it sent me this way. There wasn't really much point going along that part of the England Coastal Path for the small amount of time I'd have been on it, so that explains that. And I dare say I'll be back down on the coastal path when it rejoins the actual coast, or the Medway, further along here. Just over to my left is the Royal Dockyard Museum. As always with my walks, I don't really have time to stop for too long at various attractions along the way. They're normally dealt with in separate videos completely. I'm going to be veering off this road very shortly, going straight ahead there, thankfully, because I don't like walking along next to busy roads. It's really not much fun at all. It says historic dockyard entrance, half a mile. That's of course for vehicles, not pedestrians. Oh, and suddenly a bit of peace and tranquility. Now I'm in the dockyards. This is the Royal Dockyard Church. See the Medway just ahead of us. Cashier's office, late 18th century. This substantial building was constructed for the pay clerks and other staff of the Clerk of the Check. It was originally a single-storey structure, with the upper floors being added later on. John Dickens, father of Charles Dickens, worked as a pay clerk in this building between 1817 and 1822. Paid £200 per year, he attended the regular muster of all the artisans and labourers employed in the dockyard and met arriving ships to pay the crews. Charles Dickens made many visits to the dockyard both then and later, writing some of his experience in his book, The Uncommercial Traveller. The building remains in use as an office today. This is the officers' terrace from 1722 to 1733. Very nice. Like the mini cannons there. And once you get down to the actual dockside down here, we've got HMS Cavalier, HMS Gannet and Ocelot, I presume you say that, HMS Submarine Ocelot. You can call the midwife little car there. It is a meeting point. So that's some very interesting hardware down here to look at. There's the submarine and HMS Gannet, 1878. As always with my walks, I never seem to have quite enough time to really fully appreciate and spend an adequate amount of time, and more often than not I end up popping certain places back on my list to revisit at a later date for more specific looks at individual items or exhibits. And here is absolutely no exception. Number 3 dry dock 1820, number 4 dry dock 1840. That's quite an impressive submarine, that, up close. I can see a sign saying fish and chips again. I wish I had a bit more time. I'm surprised not to see more people walking around in here actually on a Saturday afternoon. And it says it's the Royal Engineers Museum. 3 Slip, the big space. The big store. This is absolutely fascinating, and incredible amount of stuff to look at actually. I'll be honest with you, I didn't realise there was going to be quite this much stuff. And as I say, this is going to be revisited by me. Margate lifeboat. But I've seen some interesting action over the years. Historic lifeboat collection. Now, am I locked in? Almost feels like I'm locked in here. I'll have to take the other route, the one that the app was showing me. Gates all seem to be locked there. I'm going to have to backtrack on myself slightly. Definitely a sign saying way out. Well, what an interesting place. I'm really pleased I came down here today just to have a very, very brief look at these historic dockyards. If you're interested in all things maritime and naval, then here is a place to definitely come and visit. It's quite late on a Saturday afternoon, so it's kind of winding down for the day, I believe. I'm not sure what time it's actually open until, but there's certainly not too many people about at the moment. I think the only way out of here is to go through the shop. That's fine. This exit where I've just come out would be your main entrance if you came by car. I think it's fair to say. And as you'll see, there's not that many cars in here now. I think it looked like in the shop and the cafeteria that's in there was beginning to wind down for the day. But I'm glad I just caught it. I'm going to continue the walk now. I'm out the other side of the dockyards to St Mary's Island, which is a kind of a peninsula, if you like, on the estuary. On my Go Jauntly app, it says that there should be a Ramada Encore hotel over there. Looking over, it says Travelodge, so I presume Ramada have moved out and Travelodge have moved in. I don't know how recent that was, but unless I'm missing something somewhere. Steam, steel and submarines. This area is called Chatham Maritime, and presumably was all part and parcel of the docks at one time. It's now been repurposed. It's got a retail park just over to my left with outlet stores and so on, and there's all a general modern feel to it. It's called Dockside, and I can see in there all the usual suspects to go and visit, which might come in handy in a moment because I'm getting a bit thirsty. It's quite a humid day today, actually. It's not particularly warm, but quite humid. Just walking over the top of the Medway tunnel at the moment. Take you out to, where will that be on the other side there? Strood, I guess, somewhere like that on the other side. Yeah, these former docks have certainly been turned into a reasonable selection of retail outlets and kind of a place to come and eat and drink and do some bit of shopping as well. Quite a range of stuff, actually. Mostly food, though, it's got to be said. I'm beginning to wonder what St Mary's Island is. It was just purely a random selection on the map. Sounded interesting. Wondering if it's just residential or there's a bit more to it than that. So I'm going to go there anyway. I see a sign for it now. Looks like there is some sort of occasional bridge. You've got what would you call it? A bridge that lifts up occasionally to let boats through. Mental block now, can't think of what you would call it. Not a swing bridge, lifts up, I don't know. Anyway, a bridge. Certainly a lot of food being cooked over there in the retail park behind me. I went past a food truck, an Indian street food truck, and that smelt absolutely fantastic. And it certainly had quite a few people there, so I think that's probably a good sign that what's on offer is of a decent standard. I have to say, as a first timer to Chatham, not quite first timer, but first time I've kind of walked around properly, I'm quietly impressed, actually. I didn't think Chatham was actually going to be like this, and certainly it is contrary to some of the reports I've heard. HMS Chatham Bridge, named in 2012. welcome to St Mary's Island. So I'm going to get over here, have a little look around. Some nice boats here in the marina as well. MT Kent South Eastern Tug Society. Steady. So here we are at the entrance to St Mary's Island, which looks to be mostly residential. There seems to be a park in the middle and one or two other places of interest. But that's where I'm going to end the video today. Beginning to run out of time. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to start running to catch a train later on. So hopefully you enjoyed this very short video. I've got one or two more lurking about on YouTube. Around here in Kent, other parts of the UK, Europe, and other parts of the world too. So if you're interested in just general little amble walks here, there, and almost everywhere, then please click the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and have a look at some of the other ones as well. Hopefully you'll enjoy those. And once again, thanks for watching. And what's the other thing? Oh yeah, that bell. Apparently that lets you know when there's new videos uploaded or released. So you can click on that too. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in another one soon. Cheers for now.